Who back when?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of Podcast Land, and welcome to episode B041 of Who Back When, a Doctor Who podcast. Or DocPast. I am Punkin, and I am joined in the studio today by an old soul. I am joined today, in fact, by Flapjack. Hello, Jack.
Hey, it's good to be back. Good to be back.
Yeah.
It has been well over a year, I would say.
Well, the last time you were on the show was the Class spin-off recording, I think.
Oh, man.
Wasn't it?
Do you remember that? Did you make it to the end of Class?
What, of the show?
Yeah, of the show Class.
No.
No, nor did I.
Absolutely
I
not.
made it to episode 4, I believe.
Oh, I may have made it 4 as well.
Before deciding that BBC 3 would never let this go on.
You decided. Okay.
Absolutely turgid.
Wonderful.
It really was.
Before that episode, the last time that you were on the show was for a different Christmas special. It was
that's right.
Last Christmas, which was the first Christmas special by Capaldi.
Yes.
Or with Capaldi.
Where he's dressed as a magician.
Is he?
Yeah, he's dressed as a magician, and they do the whole alien thing.
Yes, exactly. I don't remember the magician thing, but I do remember...
He references it himself. He's,
okay.
He's like in full magician's get-up.
Full magician regalia.
Yeah, that's right.
Wonderful. The episode that we're here to discuss today is yet another Christmas special, and it is in fact his last Christmas special. So, isn't that wonderful? In a way, we're bookending it.
I remember when we announced that Peter Capaldi was going to become the Doctor.
I know.
Yeah, we made a whole night of it.
Absolutely absurd.
Do you remember how excited we were?
We were crazy excited. I had no idea who Peter Capaldi was.
Oh yeah, I made you watch the thick of it after that. I say I made you. You wanted to watch
I wanted
it.
to, and I watched it several times after that. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
But at the time of his when he was announced as the next Doctor, I was just like, who's this guy?
So, just as a quick summary,
Yeah.
I mean, compared to then, to now,
Yeah.
how do you feel it went?
Just really quickly, maybe summarize several years of Peter Capaldi as the Doctor.
This is probably only our fourth podcast since then. I mean, how do you feel this time has been? Would you like to appraise the period?
It's gone really well. Basta. Because at some point, we will probably at some point soon, in fact, we're going to have some sort of Peter Capaldi retrospective episode.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to save myself until then. In general, I've come to really, really like Peter Capaldi, though, I will say.
You say come to. I mean, we were really excited when he became
I've
the Doctor.
come to. I have liked him pretty much from the get-go.
Yeah, me too.
Mainly because I wanted, and I think you wanted as well, so you wanted the curmudgeon old man back.
I wanted a desexualization of the Doctor.
A desexualization, and also you want the Doctor to be a little bit of a prick.
I wanted him to be grumpier than he was, actually. I wanted him to be
Even grumpier?
As grumpy as the first Doctor.
Okay.
Which
is what he...
I think it was a really good comparison. I loved what they did. We will get onto that.
Yeah, we will get onto that. In fact, this is not the
But I do
Peter
miss
Capaldi
that.
retrospective.
I miss that guy.
What? Wait, Capaldi or Hartnell?
No, the grumpy Doctor.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that it's purely Hartnell. I mean,
No.
I miss the grumpy Doctor.
I don't think you're going to get the grumpy Doctor much with the 13th.
We've had 2 words. I mean, that's
it's brilliant.
All we're basing all of our
brilliant.
suppositions on.
It's brilliant.
The 2 words we've heard from.
Oh,
this
brilliant.
lady.
Why don't we... I think
wanna
we
say
wrap up
in
this episode by talking about Whittaker and that first impression of Whittaker, because that does probably happen at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
But sorry, I did cut you off there. What were you going to say?
No, did you catch a northern accent?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not against that per se.
No, not at all.
It was unexpected.
It's a little bit.
I honestly didn't expect it.
Did you watch Broadchurch? Oh shit, we're going to have to jump into Whittaker a little bit.
The first time I heard her speak, I didn't understand what she'd said.
God.
Quite honestly.
Was that English? Is she speaking Gallifreyan?
So, I would have loved that. Can you imagine if the whole thing was in Gallifreyan?
An interview with Jodie Whittaker and she speaks Gallifreyan. It's method acting, you know?
I think it was the unexpectedness of it. You know when you dip into a bag of crisps and say you think you're going for a salt and vinegar crisp and it turns out to be cheese and onion? I think it was just...
Happens
it
to
was
all
just
of us.
That.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen of Podcast Lands, if that is not a relatable anecdote, then I don't know what is.
I'm bringing it right down. Well, you remember when Walkers changed the colour of the bag? You probably don't. Actually.
No. Damn it. Can we get back to the subject at hand? Do you remember me saying that I want to keep this nice and tight because I have to edit this tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm rather selfish in that way.
God damn it. This episode may be delayed because of this.
This is the joy of podcasting, though.
Okay.
For me, not for you.
You don't do post. I think that we jump into this episode. Okay. Because there's a little bit to discuss there. Yeah. And then after that, maybe it'll branch out into slightly more philosophical topics. But something that we've been doing, not just recently, for a while, as you'll know as an avid listener of Who Back When, Jack.
Oh, yeah. Weekly or monthly or whenever you do it. I mean, I don't.
Weekly, that's right.
Yeah.
Is to start off with a question about the episode that we're discussing. And I have a question for you. Do you think that the brandy paradox could potentially destroy the whole of the space-time continuum?
Okay, you state it as a paradox.
Yeah.
Why is it a paradox?
Okay, so, right, here's what I'm thinking. He drinks, or he offers, the doctor offers, whichever one you choose,
I see where you're
offers
going.
brandy in the future to Mark Gatiss. It's like, here, Mark Gatiss, have some brandy.
Yeah.
Then, quote-unquote, they travel back in time, in that they are in an early iteration of the same TARDIS, an early iteration of the same brandy comes out, he offers him brandy. The odds of Mark Gatiss having no identical brandy particles, slim to none, right?
Right.
So it's possible that Mark Gatiss had the same brandy twice.
I thought you were going a different place with this paradox.
Okay, carry on. Go for it.
Where I thought you were going to go with it, if the first Doctor gave brandy to Mark Gatiss, and he is commenting that the brandy levels have gone down, then 1,500 years later, when Capaldi takes out the same brandy, why is that brandy still there for him to give it?
No, but isn't that the joke? Doesn't the first Doctor go, doesn't Faux Hartnell, doesn't he go, oh, so that's where it went? In that, oh, now I get it.
Well, no,
I'm here now offering brandy to this soldier.
Well, what happens is Capaldi says that he might have slipped a glass in the last 1,500 years.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if the first Doctor already gave the brandy over, would the brandy not have already been diminished by Hartnell giving it? That's why you're in a time paradox.
Yeah, but there is less brandy in the bottle, in the carafe, rather,
than Hartnell is expecting.
Wait, what? No, yeah, in the future, there's... Oh, shit. All right, here we go.
We're wrapping ourselves up in knots here.
There is less brandy in the carafe in Capaldi's TARDIS than there is in the carafe in Hartnell's TARDIS.
Yes.
Meaning, between Hartnell and Capaldi, brandy was dispensed.
Yes.
And Hartnell, in fact, Faux Hartnell, in fact, dispenses some brandy to Mark Gatiss.
Yeah.
Hence it goes down, then Capaldi has another sip, 1,500 years pass, and then Faux Hartnell whips out the carafe again and goes, what the fuck, man? What is this?
All right, so let's take this in extremis.
Okay.
Let's say... that
there will be more things discussed in this episode, I promise.
Okay. Let's say that Hartnell had given over all of the brandy to Gatiss in that one instant.
Yeah.
Does that mean that Capaldi never had any brandy in the closet at all?
Correct.
That's the question I'm asking.
Unless at some point and I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility that Capaldi or any other Doctor between, starting with 2 and ending with 11, replenished the carafe.
I think it is implied that they didn't replenish the carafe.
That's right. That's right. So if Hartnell had completely emptied the thing, not only would that mean that Capaldi had at some point replenished the carafe, I cannot believe we're having this conversation. It would also mean that Mark Gatiss would be off his face. All right, let's carry on, shall we?
No, I'm enjoying it right here. This is the sweet spot. Like interdimensional loops of brandy. I think that's where this podcast should end up.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to jump into sound bites just for funsies. This is 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, and we both reacted to this because we fast-forwarded through the episode before pressing record. The soundbite is...
Your face. It's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lovely little sleight of hand, isn't it? Your face, it's all over the place. Hence explaining why you look very little like William Hartnell.
Do you think he looks very little like him? I think he looks a lot like... Maybe
I think they did quite a good job. They did, like, given that David Bradley is a known actor, I think they did a very good job of disguising him as Hartnell.
I feel like he also had some kind of prosthetic on his face. Like, just, I don't know, ladled some silicone on his...
slightly.
Yeah, or something. Like, they put some silicone on him or something.
He's quite a haggard old man already.
He is, yeah. I mean, he has played Hartnell before. He played Hartnell and, consequently, the First Doctor in An Adventure in Space and Time. And I think that kind of makes him perfect for the role. It's quite nice to have him return to that.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he wasn't good in the role and that he wasn't the right choice. He looks great.
And he acts very much like Hartnell. I think he does a spiffing job. I haven't seen the other actor I haven't seen him act. The other guy who plays Hartnell.
Smoother than Hartnell.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's a more modern actor. I think that is the difference. I think Hartnell, like, you're looking at 60s television, it's quite theatrical, and that is the difference between all television in the 60s.
Do you know what I was missing?
What?
Are we going over there? That's not a good idea. Is that nice? The classic Hartnell. I was missing that.
But I think the reason for your face is all over the place was a little sleight of hand to say,
yeah, you don't look 100%
exactly the same, but come on, guys, we're approaching Hartnell, right?
We recently encountered Hartnell on Who Back When. He reprised the role of the First Doctor in The Three Doctors, which is a Pertwee Troughton and Hartnell adventure. And it was his very last appearance on TV in general.
Yeah, because he died pretty soon
shortly thereafter, right? Yeah. But no, I don't know. I'm super pleased to have... My biggest fear, and I think I said this on the show a couple of episodes ago as well, my biggest fear was that they would have Bradley reenact scenes from Hartnell. Like, they would go to the web planet and we would see a scene from the web planet, but with Bradley instead of Hartnell. I didn't want to see that because that would feel like a slap in the face of Hartnell.
Well, they splintered it, didn't they?
They splintered it, and I think they actually did a very nice job of it.
Yes.
Like, it was a class act.
But did it make sense? Which brings us on probably to the next point.
It did not make sense, but no, carry on. Like, take us into this point.
Well, just following on from where we were.
Yeah.
So we're taken out of the episode in 1964, I want to say.
No, it's like 66, maybe 67, something like that.
All right, so we're
the 10th planet anyway.
We're taken out of the 60s episode.
Yeah.
Into a moment of time which previously didn't exist.
Correct.
And has now magically appeared so that both of them meet at this same time. And in the 60s episode, we're not given any indication that Hartnell doesn't want to regenerate.
Correct.
And suddenly he does.
Correct.
And suddenly he's meeting with the 12th Doctor.
Also correct. There are more problems with this as well.
There are more. I mean, go on.
Okay, so we discussed this before as well, before pressing record. Why is this new to Capaldi? Why doesn't Capaldi remember having met himself in the past?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing with these kind of situations in Doctor Who is you can always change time. Time can be rewritten, and it is possible to change things in the past.
Correct.
But the problem for me is that there's been no intervention to make the past change. So if time is a linear construct...
It's not so much linear, it's more wibbly-wobbly. A ball of stuff, I believe.
So is the implication here that because the 12th Doctor decided that he didn't want to regenerate in the same way that the First Doctor didn't, there was a coming together at that point because some time energy made them collide?
Wait, are you saying that the First Doctor
went to the same place, they both went to the South Pole, and they both decided that they didn't want to regenerate?
Yes.
So there was some sort of natural reaction that took place because two doctors in two separate times decided that they both didn't want to regenerate at one time, and that caused a wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey mess.
Wait, hang on. Just to clarify, are you suggesting that... Because we already know in the episode that this is what then caused the time-space, whatever, issue of, what are they called? Glass monsters?
Yeah, glass monsters.
Glass monsters.
They're more sort of like glass receptacles.
Yeah.
You know, like glasses. Although, to be fair, glasses are not glass receptacles, are they? They're more water receptacles. We're going way off here, way off.
Mind blown. So wait, hang on. So just to clarify, in the episode, it is also said that the fact that both of them wanted to effectively commit suicide at the same time, and thus creating the risk of a paradox, but not actually creating a paradox.
I guess.
That is what caused the glass monsters, glasses, whatever, to go, oh shit, wrong time.
And intervene.
Yeah. But were you just now suggesting that the fact that the 12th Doctor was in the South Pole wanting to commit suicide, or wanting to die, that is what led the first Doctor to go, I don't want to live anymore either?
What I'm suggesting is that the 12th Doctor's actions are what caused the rift. Because in the original series, the first Doctor doesn't experience this. It doesn't happen to him the first time around. It happens to him only on the second time around, after the 12th Doctor has also decided he does not want to regenerate.
Okay. Applying Bill and Ted logic, I'm...
Always. Day to day.
I would say the 12th Doctor was always there. When we were watching The 10th Planet, the 12th Doctor was there, we just didn't see him. Because he goes back in time, it's not like, I mean...
Well, on the basis that all time is existing always.
Well, on the basis that that time and that place will always be there and then.
Well, that's true, and it's not just Bill and Ted logic, it's also Who logic. It's Who logic as well. I mean, like, the whole Trenzalore thing. It was all based on the fact that somebody's grave is always out there at all times.
Exactly, yes,
so
exactly.
You are always able to go to that place.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck? Like, what happened? Like, what changed in Hartnell's universe that made this split scene occur?
Okay, here's another thing that bothers me. God damn it. You know what? I sat down on the sofa thinking, I really love this episode.
I really love this episode.
I still love this episode.
I still love it.
But we're going to talk me, at least, down a peg, and I don't want that. So here's something that bothers me. There is never a paradox. If we had seen Hartnell blow his brains out, then I would understand why glass monsters go, oh shit, we sent Mark Gatiss to the wrong time. But since he hadn't yet blown his brains out, and indeed never does, why do the glass monsters go, oh, Gatiss, wrong time?
I mean, as we have discussed, why do the two Doctors coming together in this way cause this one man at this one time to be stopped by glass monsters? It's really difficult to understand. It could, presumably, that could happen to anyone at any one moment. I mean, why is it...
But what are the odds of that person not only being played by Mark Gatiss, but also...
Pretty unlikely.
But also being...
nearly shot by Toby Whitehouse.
And he is also... Yeah, and he's also Bagel's dad. That's crazy.
Yeah, what do you know? I mean, what are the chances?
What a small world. Actually, let's talk about Toby Whitehouse. So, I didn't realize this until we didn't even rewatch it properly. Let's say this first. So, before pressing record on this, you said, come on, I've only seen it twice, you've only seen this episode twice, let's watch it together a third time. We start watching it a third time, yeah. And then we agree, let's fast forward through this.
Yeah.
I press fast forward. There are a few quips bouncing back and forth between us. We look back at the TV, episode over.
Yeah.
And
there are really very few scenes.
We were both baffled at how little happens in this episode.
It felt much longer.
Yeah.
There are lots of...
It's an hour-long episode, right?
There are a lot of emotional exchanges that go on in this episode, which we obviously fast-forwarded straight through.
Yeah, we did.
I was like, everybody's sad, everybody's happy, okay, fine.
But there's actually not that much happening.
Get to the shooting, get to the football.
This was written by Moff, right?
Yeah, it's his last episode.
It is his very last episode as showrunner and as writer.
As we discussed before pressing record, this was a massive send-off for all concerned.
For everyone.
For absolutely everyone.
Yeah.
Including the non-German man.
Who is played by Toby Whitehouse, whom we have encountered on Who Back When before, because he is the writer of many an episode of Doctor Who, including the very recently reviewed Vampires of Venice, which includes neither vampires nor Venice.
It is set in Venice, at least. There are no vampires in it.
There's like zero water in it.
No, there's some... let's not go off on that topic.
We're not doing it.
There is water in that episode.
Listen to our Vampires of Venice review. It's good. It's good fun. But so Toby Whitehouse plays the clearly not a German soldier, and it really ticks me off a little. I mean, you know how Tarantino's really good at getting actors who speak the respective language to act in the respective roles?
Yeah, seems easy, doesn't it?
Yeah. I feel like there were other roles Toby Whithouse could have played in this one.
Yeah.
Whithouse could have been the dude who kicks the ball.
Well, starts the game.
Yeah.
Or saves the penalty.
He could.
Or
Whithouse could have been the guy who starts singing Holy Night on the English side.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Beautiful.
Somebody had to play the German, though.
Yeah. Suggestion.
A German.
A German. Suggestion from left field, a German. Get a German to play the German.
It didn't annoy me quite as much as it annoyed you.
It annoyed me like hell.
I don't speak German.
Well...
So it didn't...
Neither does Toby Whithouse.
No, it didn't jar with me quite as much as it jarred with you.
Okay.
I actually thought it was perfectly acceptable. What I still don't understand, let's get back to the topic.
Okay.
Why has time stopped just in that moment for that man?
Because he's about to die. Mark Gatiss.
Loads of people are about to die.
Is it Gatiss or Gatiss?
I would say Gatiss. I might be wrong.
I think I've always said Gatiss, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'm wrong.
It doesn't matter too much.
So, well, yeah, because he's about to die. Isn't that what they're called? What are they? Testimony, that's what they're called.
Testimony. But
Yeah.
loads of people are always about to die in every instance of time ever.
Yeah, constantly
So
freezing.
why this guy? Is it the Lethbridge Stewart connection? I can't really see why that would...
Well, they pick everyone, right?
influence
So,
this
so the Glass Monsters, they go and they have a glass replica of everyone. Everyone.
So one person dies once.
Yeah.
What makes that special, and why would they be pulled through some sort of weird time loop?
It isn't special in any way. The Glass Monsters have just gone like, you know what? We're gonna have a copy of everyone. That's it. We want a copy of everyone as they die.
I know that the Glass Monsters are saying that.
So presumably they will have gone to Toby Whithouse's non-German chap at some point later on. 14 years later. It's like, oh, man, it was terrible being in the war. I had to shoot Mark Gatiss. And then he chokes on his dinner.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then time freezes. A Glass Monster shows up and goes, what? Sucks to be you. Make a copy, now die.
Screw that. You don't even need to go into the future. You have people all around in trenches dying by the dozen.
Yeah, and
Anybody.
they freeze time and take all of them as well.
You can pick anybody.
They take everyone, don't they?
They take everyone?
Are they not making a copy of every single person?
Yeah, they make a copy of every single person. What I'm saying is, why him? Why would it be him that time stops for?
Oh.
And he steps through a time portal.
Oh. Dude, coinkydink.
It could be anyone ever.
I see what you're saying now.
That could possibly have done that.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
coincidence.
Well,
Wouldn't it have been great?
It doesn't seem that much of a coincidence.
Imagine if they meet up, they're like, I'm the doctor. No, I'm the doctor. And then all of a sudden, snowflakes freeze and Toby Whithouse's non-German guy comes in and goes, I don't speak English nor German. We then have to put up with him for 40 minutes.
Yeah, that would have been great. It would have made more sense.
Okay, I've got another question for you.
Sure.
This is also a Mark Gatiss thing. Or Gatiss.
We should really find out the answer to that.
We should.
Yeah.
Mark Gatiss or Gatiss, if you're listening, let us know.
I mean, I suppose...
If someone out there knows him...
Yeah, only he can answer that question.
Yeah.
For certain.
But if someone knows him, then, put us in touch.
David Bowie? Wait, I mean...
I don't think he's
answers
listening.
on a postcard.
At 10 minutes and 36 seconds into this episode, Mark Gatiss holds up...
specific.
He holds up a VHS tape. And he goes, what's this?
Yeah.
What's that VHS tape? What is the significance of that?
That's a great question.
I feel like there must be something clever associated with that. Like either it's from a prior Doctor Who episode, or it's an in-joke of the production team or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find it in the trivia section of IMDb.
I did see that. I'm trying to think of a possible explanation.
Right, so we just Googled it. No solution.
No, absolutely nothing. I mean, as I said to you, I think it might just be time debris. I think it might just be, a bunch of stuff has happened between 1966 and now, one of which was VHS tapes.
That's true. Lots of other things have happened, though, and he has been all over the place. It seems like this must be an in-joke for the production crew, because otherwise it seems almost more likely for Mark Gatiss or Gatiss to pick up some alien thingy.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Right? But no. Or something from the time of this episode's production. Something more 2017.
Actually, I thought
it's like, what is this DVD?
Something from the 60s.
Or from the 60s. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, would have made perfect sense.
Would have made more sense than a VHS tape. But yeah, no, it must be an in-joke.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the things I had noted...
Okay.
One of the things I had noted was the comment of, it is protected.
Oh.
So the Doctor says to the glass monster...
Yeah.
This is Earth, it's a level 5 planet, and it is protected.
Yes,
he adds on top of the First Doctor's commentary. Protected by whom?
By the Doctor.
Yeah, but that is the First Doctor's question. Protected by whom?
Yeah.
Like, what is this God complex you've developed?
What are you talking about? It is pure coincidence that I always pick up human friends.
But I think it's quite nice of the writers to acknowledge.
I agree.
The changes that have taken place between the Doctors, because they are not the same person in any way. The First Doctor is just a wanderer.
Yeah. And a bumbly Mr. Magoo.
And he has no altruistic outlook at all.
Not really, no. It's almost as though he is now inspired by Capaldi to become a more altruistic.
Yes.
At the end of the episode, I mean.
Well, I think, in a sense, he's helping himself, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Which is why he does it, I guess.
Do you think so?
Yeah, because it is useful to himself, his latest, his future self.
Wait, what? Wait, who's helping? Wait, hang on. Shit.
So the First Doctor decides that he's going to help the 12th Doctor. And he only does so because it is useful for himself in the future.
Oh, I see.
He's not doing it for the benefit of anyone or anything.
No, that's probably true.
Yeah, so I think they've captured the spirit very well.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. Which is quite nice. Another difference between them is actually my next note. I've written, I love the deliberate sexism of the First Doc.
Yeah.
And that's another difference that they really hammer home.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. I mean, Capaldi's so often pointing out, like, you have to stop saying stuff like that.
They make it a lot more noticeable than it actually is when you watch the 60s episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
You and I pointed out a lot of instances of sexism.
I suppose so.
Nick and I pointed out a lot of instances of sexism.
Yeah, I suppose.
We get a jolly good smacked bottom again.
If I hear any more language like that from you, young lady, you're in for a jolly good smacked bottom.
I mean, that's an actual quote from an actual serial. I believe he says that to Susan.
What you need is a jolly good smack bottom.
Yeah, he says it to his own granddaughter.
Yeah, which is appropriate.
Yeah, totally. I think it's more appropriate to say it to your granddaughter than it is to a person you have only just met.
Only just met, and who is an adult.
Yes. Well, I was concerned for a moment he was going to make it racial. I was concerned.
Did you think so?
Yeah, I was really pleased he didn't. Well, because I think it would have taken a very different tone. I think.
It would have. He would never have been able to come back from that.
I think it's quite funny that we are able to come back from it, because the First Doctor in this representation of him, he's quite a lovable character. I think.
Yeah, he is.
I think we all enjoy this guy, and we can all get along with this guy.
Well, William Hartnell's First Doctor was also a great guy, despite being a sexist, a bit of a racist, and despite killing a human being by throwing him out of the window in front of a child.
I don't recall him being a racist. I can't recall any instances of racism.
Oh, no, that's true. The show was a bit racist, but he wasn't specifically racist. No, you're right.
Yeah, I don't.
No, you're right. You're right. He does kill a guy in front of a child, though.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is it's funny how
the Romans,
how he's acceptable to us.
Yes,
and we just let it all slide.
Yeah,
with a wink and a nod. I mean, it's a bit like the 70s and 80s in the BBC.
How appropriate then.
Where anything really goes, doesn't it? It's okay for Hartnell to be sexist.
Well, it was symptomatic of the 60s at the BBC and in the world in general. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, as a modern day observer, he's still eminently lovable.
Yeah.
Even in this sexist role.
But is he not also possibly lovable because we even on screen at the same time get evidence of the fact that he matures out of that?
I suppose.
Like, he's not always going to be a sexist. He will grow out of that, and in fact he tells himself, stop being like that.
Yeah, I suppose telling oneself off is really the best you can do.
I think so. I mean, in a sense, you can get away with a lot of things as long as you don't keep them up forever. You know? Both of us probably did lots of stupid shit when we were kids, for example, but we are no longer kids, and we are hopefully not doing all of the same stupid shit. So therefore, in a way, it's excusable. And Hartnell's Doctor, the first Doctor, Bradley's Hartnell's first Doctor, is by comparison not a kid, but it's the early stages of the Doctor,
I suppose.
Right, so in a way, he gets away with it.
Yeah. But I think it's also quite interesting how we're all acceptant that this guy is a Time Lord, and therefore, he's been around for a very long time.
Yeah,
he's over 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
Well, 1,500 years old, yeah. But at this age, we're acceptant that he is quite bigoted, because we contextualise him into the 60s. So
yes, that's true.
This Time Lord, who can go to any time, we contextualise all of his comments into, that's just how they thought in the 60s. So we're kind of viewing him as a 60s TV character and as the Doctor at the same time.
Yes, but in a way, there is that element of breaking the fourth wall in this particular episode.
Yeah.
So in the
well, they do it immediately. In fact,
exactly.
They say 709 episodes
ago. It is. That's what I was going to get to. Like, it is blatantly, this is a TV show that you're watching, and so many episodes ago, this is how we portrayed him here at the BBC. And Doctor Who is an institution, and everyone knows where it comes from and what it is and who does it and who's been in the role and so on. And everyone knows that the BBC, just like most other channels or broadcasting services, was also a product of its time.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that, and in fact, I think it was hilarious every single time it came up.
Yeah.
Polly's clearly not around anymore because there's dust everywhere.
Yeah, that was good.
It's pretty fun.
Did Polly do very much cleaning?
Not that I remember. I
can't remember.
I remember her making a lot of tea for people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
And it was just like,
that is quite servile.
This is a really difficult situation we're having here, men. Polly, make us some tea.
I guess it's just an assumption that in between episodes she was tidying up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They were on the moon and she was making tea for people.
So, you know how the TARDIS goes on forever, yeah?
Yes.
So how was Polly getting round to all of that? Was she just cleaning the flight deck? Or did she have to go into the swimming pool?
Well, maybe there's just not that much. Yes, we knew that the TARDIS was bigger on the inside back then as well, but do you remember ever thinking, actually, the TARDIS has way more rooms than this, back when we were watching the first few episodes of Hartnell?
No, I actually don't.
I remember thinking, it's roughly the size of a house in there. It's not, infinite stadia. It is a house.
No. But
in fact, in Edge of Discretion, we get to see their bedroom, and they all have the same, there are just these diagonal things that they sleep on.
Edge of Discretion.
Discretion, I believe.
Discretion.
I believe that's how it's pronounced. They sleep in the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a big place. It's like a student flat.
But there are additional rooms from time to time that aren't part of the flight deck.
But when do we get to see them? On Who Back When, we are currently in Pertwee times, and we still haven't seen any, I think.
I think I remember the Doctor lying down in an anterior room of the TARDIS.
Isn't that Edge of Discretion, though?
It might be an Edge of Discretion. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same room where Susan suddenly picks up a pair of scissors and wants to kill Ian Chesterton/Chatterton. Chesterfield? Yeah, my point is, it was bigger on the inside. It was just the size of, let's say, a 2-bed flat or something. Yeah. That in itself is already pretty impressive. That's already bigger than a telephone box or a police box. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Well done, Doctor. But it's only now that we have this enormous place, so it's very possible that Polly could have cleaned the whole place.
Well, so you're saying that the TARDIS has grown? It literally has grown. So it started off the size of a 2-bedroom house.
I think it's...
And then grew to include infinite worlds like it does in Matt Smith's era.
I think it's grown in the sense that TV nowadays and just production values have grown. The audience, a younger audience in particular, is not going to be as impressed by a 2-bed flat in a police box as they may have been in the 60s. So now you have to have infinite worlds in there. But on top of that, people are more experimental, and there's more experience of science fiction in general, and there are means of production that enable you to show a TARDIS with vast libraries and swimming pools and everything in a way that you couldn't in the 60s. So now, as you have the means, why wouldn't you?
I think it would have been possible in the 60s. You just set up an extra studio. You just show a bigger room. It would be quite easy. I think they just hadn't considered it at the time.
Yeah, okay, so that would go hand in hand with the whole, like, they didn't have as much experience of doing sci-fi on TV.
But there is also the Doctor's own attitude to consider. I mean, so we get a line in this episode about that, where he says, this is the flight deck of the most powerful spacecraft in the world.
True. That's true.
Not...
a restaurant for the French.
Not a restaurant for the French.
Yeah.
This is the flight deck of the most powerful space-time machine in the known universe, not a restaurant for the French.
But that's the way the Doctor considers it. I mean, I guess he's still new to the TARDIS. He's still seeing it as a transport means.
Yeah. Well, he also says, like, oh, you're still calling it the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is nice. I like that we get to see the two TARDISes next to each other. So the first TARDIS and the, at this point in time, last TARDIS. Latest TARDIS, let's say.
Have you seen the new TARDIS?
Yes, I have.
With the distressed blue.
Yeah, you get to see the wood grain in a very different way. The sign is a different color. The sign, the actual handle of the, what's it called? Like the phone bit of it. The little cabinet is on the other side. It opens to the other side. The windows are different. Yeah, it's probably a different size as well. At the top, it goes in. Have you seen that? Like right above the doors?
Yeah.
It goes in a little bit. It's actually beautiful. I really like it. I'm paying more attention to TARDISes and TARDIS designs nowadays.
What's your explanation for why the TARDIS is changing? Because it's stuck, right? So that's the reason it's a
but it's changed so many times.
Is that it's stuck. So why is it changing?
I don't know. I mean, they didn't give any explanations for this in the beginning.
The last 11 times they haven't given any explanations.
Well, there haven't been 11 different designs as far as I'm aware.
No, that's true.
They haven't given any explanations so far in our reviews of Classic Who. So Pertwee very clearly has a new TARDIS, for example.
Yeah.
And then, in fact, he has two TARDISes. He goes through two of them. And no one ever talks about it. It's just never explained. I think later on, when we get to Tom Baker, he's going to have the Newberry box, the Barry Newberry from 1976 box. And it looks quite different. And I think at that point, maybe Tom Baker's going to go, I'm not the only one who's gone through a regeneration, because that's what Tom Baker sounds like. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, I will get some line, I suspect. But no, I don't know. They did the same thing, by the way, with the interior of the TARDIS now as we got with, was it Eccleston to Tennant? No, Tennant to Matt Smith. That's what it was.
Right.
They're like, wait, new showrunner, fuck it, let's destroy it. You know?
Yeah.
Presumably, the TARDIS is now going to have to heal and rebuild itself very similarly to how it did for Matt Smith. Yeah. When he landed in Amy Pond's place. It was like, oh, well, it takes a while. We're now going to have to reboot, basically.
Starts cooking.
Yeah, and then it looks completely different afterwards. Yeah. So maybe that's what's going to happen now. Like, there's a new showrunner, he's got a new doctor, he's got a new set of companions. He's going to want a new TARDIS. Do you not think so?
Yeah, I guess so. No, I understand it from the TV production company's point of view.
Yeah, but narratively it works out as well. You had a theory about or you had read a theory about the TARDIS, though, which you mentioned before we pressed record tonight.
Oh, yeah, I looked into it. It's not true.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been the worst. For the record, you had read that
they were going to get rid of the police telephone box.
Clearly not going to happen.
Altogether.
Clearly not going to happen.
I think it would be the end of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
If they did do that.
Absolutely. That's terrible.
I don't think there'd be any coming back. You wouldn't have a show anymore. You'd have a time traveller.
Exactly, yeah.
You wouldn't have Doctor Who anymore.
No, and, I mean, fine. Do that show as well, but, don't call it Doctor
Who. So, are we saying...
the TARDIS is quite integral.
Well, are we saying that is what Doctor Who is?
What, the TARDIS?
Is the TARDIS, yeah.
Well, it's a doctor who travels around in a blue box. Change that blue box to something else. It's just... Yeah, it's as you say, it's time travel.
It's just time travel.
Yeah.
With incomplete rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, incoherent rules.
I mean, when they replaced the sonic screwdriver with the sonic sunglasses, the sonic Ray-Bans...
Yeah, how did you feel about that?
I hated it. I think everyone did. I think we talked about this on the show as well. Right. Did you like it? You're nodding your head like, I could dig it.
I'm not going as far as I liked it. I accepted it.
Okay.
I wouldn't have liked to... I'd have preferred it if it hadn't replaced the sonic screwdriver. It had been an extra appendage he had.
Which it was in this episode, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I agree. That's completely fine.
I think it's fine for the Doctor to have new things at any time.
I agree.
I mean, he's a super clever guy, who's got access to all types of technology.
Absolutely, build a new gadget.
New things all the time.
Completely okay. Do that, dude. but don't replace the sonic.
No, you need a sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, so now if you can't replace one of his integral tools with something else, let's say, for example, replace his screwdriver with a pair of Ray-Bans, you also cannot replace his mode of transport with
God no.
Yeah,
I'm glad the rumours were false.
Yeah. Obviously.
Would you have stopped watching?
No. But the ratings would have dropped.
Yeah.
On the note of the sunglasses, by the way, what's browser history? I quite like that.
Okay, what do you presume he has been looking at?
Oh, 100% porn.
No, it's not porn.
100%.
It's not porn. I mean, porn is the joke.
Yeah.
But the people look quite scared when they see some of the browser history. It's not porn. Yeah. It's not porn scared.
No, it's not porn.
You've seen that look on people's faces when they've seen some of your browser history.
Yeah.
And it's not. Sure. It's not that.
No, because I don't save that in my browser history. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's obviously not going to be. Yeah, I'm kidding. It's obviously not going to be porn, but it's a fun joke. I really like that.
So what else could be in his browser history?
Oh. Maybe it's just something really mundane, and the embarrassment is how could this pseudo-immortal... How could he possibly... Like, maybe he's Googling the Kardashians or something. It's just, like, that is truly embarrassing.
I suppose,
deplorable. Yeah. He has gone down in our collective estimation. It might be a little bit of nudie stuff.
So who is it that's disgusted by his browser history? Who do we see that's...
Well, who's in there? It's really just Bill, isn't it?
Bill that sees it? Well, his previous self sees it.
Yeah, but
he doesn't know what it is.
He doesn't know what it is, which is a fun joke in itself, because he's so... Like, he's pre-internet. And then, which is weird.
How can he be pre-internet?
Exactly, which is ridiculous, yeah. But again, fourth wall, 60s. So he's this person, this timeless being from the 60s. He's been somehow, a million years into the future, but he is somehow technologically limited to what we had in the 60s.
Well, he somehow doesn't know anything that doesn't happen before 1966.
Exactly.
But still can travel anywhere.
That's great. What else? Then we have Mark Gatiss or Gatiss, and he's not going to know what browser history is.
No.
Yeah. So it's just Bill.
Is it only in this episode? I feel like the browser history thing
shows up before.
Shows up before.
It sounds like a Bill Potts joke.
As a joke.
It sounds like a Bill Potts joke.
Like, don't check my browser history.
Yeah.
I think it might be from the start of Bill Potts.
Maybe. By the way, can I just say...
I do have a note which just says Bill Potts.
Really?
Yeah.
I was about to say I really like Bill Potts.
Yeah, I really like Bill Potts. And I think it's sad that she only got one season.
I agree.
I don't think it's enough.
No, I agree.
And I also think
to see more of
it's very sad that she was diluted by other characters as well.
What, you're thinking Nardole?
I am.
Are you thinking Missy as well?
No.
No.
I mean,
okay.
Obviously, like, an antagonist doesn't count. There's always an antagonist.
Yeah.
You always have a Davros or a Master or whoever.
But Missy and Doc, they had a different dynamic.
Yeah, Missy is a huge personality.
Yeah.
In a way that...
So you're mainly thinking Nardole?
I am.
You don't really like Nardole, do you?
I'm quite disgusted with the introduction of Nardole.
Why?
I think he's the laziest character I've seen in New Who. And I think the reason it's lazy is because he's purely expositional.
Yeah.
He's also
just
what I can
fun.
tempt. I don't think he is fun.
Well, I mean, he's there it's slapstick. He's there to be kind of the bumbly, but ultimately very clever chap.
I think he made the whole of that series feel quite clunky for me. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like he was stitching episodes together. I think it was being stitched together by the narrative of Nardole.
I'm really going to have to rewatch this.
Yeah, I really... I really contempted him.
Oh, wow.
Actually, yeah.
That's harsh words.
Yeah, very harsh words.
I agree with you, though. I would have liked to have seen more of Bill Potts in general, in this season and in general. Like, I would have wanted more seasons.
Yeah, I think she was an interesting character, and I think there were lots of places left to go with her.
They could have kept her on with a new Doctor.
And the problem was, because, they could have done. And
if there hadn't been
had such a short time together, when we had that scene at the end where they meet up...
Yeah.
They all meet together, so they have Nardole, they have Bill Potts, they have Clara.
Yeah.
I didn't feel very much when Bill Potts is talking to the Doctor.
But that's why they bring Clara in.
Yeah,
it's like, well,
exactly.
here's the one that mattered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
which is a real shame.
Do you remember Clara? Do you remember how great the Clara times were?
Do you remember how much more important she was to the show? Do you remember how the Doctor had an actual relationship with her and we got to see her on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think that Clara's accent had changed?
Because she was young Victoria.
Yeah.
in between.
Quite possibly. So what I thought in the two sentences Clara was speaking was she sounded, although she did sound brummy in the original version of the show, she sounded incredibly brummy in this version. So when she's saying goodbye to him, you stupid old man.
So she's really, really hamming up the accent.
I feel so.
Because she has been accentless for several, shoots.
Well, because she hasn't been Clara for a long time.
Okay, so on a somewhat related note, talking about Clara and then talking about Rose, did you notice that they used the Rose theme in this episode?
Mm-mm.
The that's a perfect soundbite, by the way.
When did they use that?
Whenever they needed shit to be mystical, they had the Rose theme. I don't know if it's technically called, officially called the Rose theme.
Yeah, but I know what I mean. I know what you mean, because they use the Clara theme when Clara shows up.
Yeah,
you get the ding, 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 ding.
But then they have the Rose theme without Rose showing up in this.
Yeah,
that seemed very out of place to me.
No, I didn't identify it as the Rose theme.
Okay, here's a soundbite from 38 minutes and 40 seconds in.
Perhaps it's just some bloke wandering around, putting everything right when it goes wrong.
Well, that would be a nice story, wouldn't it?
That would be the best.
But the real world is not a fairy tale.
Do you see what I mean?
That's incredibly rosy. Do you remember? It's just like that time when Rose came?
Yeah.
Yeah. All mystical and shit. I bring life.
Okay, so we took, you wouldn't have necessarily have noticed this, Podcast Land, but we took a teeny tiny vape break a moment ago, and we brought up another symptom of not a lot goes on in this episode. Namely the whole, okay, hang on, let's summarize this. Bullet point this episode.
Yeah. Doctor meets Doctor.
Doctor meets Doctor. They meet
World War I guy shows up.
They go, well, this can't be good. Did you send him here, Glass Monster? I did. We're going to stop you. How? We're going to go Google it. Who's got access to Google Chrome? Rusty does. Can we Google it? No. Are you sure? No, all right, go on then. They Google. Done. Glass Monster shows up. Well, you better put him back where he was before. Yeah, all right then. Go back in time. Put him back. The end.
Yeah, I think it's a fair summary.
Yeah. So that's the episode in a nutshell.
I mean,
I was going to say in a nutcase.
The Doctor's visited a Dalek is really all that happened. And that the Glass Monster always exists. I mean, this happened in, what was it? Was it the year 4 million and something?
Yeah. The Glass Monster itself is from...
New Earth.
Yeah, from the 5 million and 32. In fact, the next note in my list, after let's Google the Glass Monster, which I put in just now, the next note is, why haven't we evolved in the year 5 billion? Oh, sorry, billion, not million. 5 billion, unless I wrote that incorrectly. Why have we not evolved in the year 5? Even 5 million. Why do we still have hair? Why do we still look like humans? I would expect us to be half computerized. We'd look like the Greys in X-Files, basically.
I'm not sure that's how evolution works.
Well, isn't it so we're not going to have hair anymore anyway? We're getting less and less hair.
I mean, if you think about
by the millennium.
But why would having less hair...
Millennium may be wrong.
...be, in evolutionary terms, beneficial? So why would you stop having hair? Why would people who had less hair procreate more than people who had more hair?
It's not necessarily that it's beneficial. It's that it's no longer essential.
Right.
So we had hair before because it protected us from the cold. We had fur, effectively, and now we no longer need that, so we have less of it. And if you go to the year 5 billion and 12 or whatever it was, I'm going to assume everyone's bald. We have no more hair. We're probably going to have super long fingers that are good for typing. Or maybe we won't even have that because everyone's telepathic at this point. Either way, we're not going to look the way we look now.
I don't know. I think technology to some extent negates evolution. A little.
Oh, wait. Hang on. What's the episode? Shitballs. They go to the future. It's the end of the Earth.
Oh, yeah.
They meet the Master.
Okay. I thought you were in Eccleston, end of the Earth.
No, it's Tennant, and he meets the Master and, future
the end of the universe, you mean?
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes, it's the end of time.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
The end of time.
The end of time. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, so humans there, most of them anyway, like the future humans, they have pointy teeth and they've got weird facial tattoos and stuff.
I wouldn't say most of them. Like the ones who are living inside of the Master's compound. Although he doesn't know he's the Master. But the ones who live inside the compound,
they're fine, aren't they?
They're perfectly normal humans. It's only the people who live outside of the compound who have turned into weird monster type things.
That's true, but the ones who are perfectly normal humans, they're then later on turned into Toodle-Pip.
Yes.
So the only humans that survive at that point are the weird Mad Max guys.
Yeah, but time's ending, so nobody survived.
Oh, right. You're right. Okay, but so when is that? When is that?
There must have come a point where they were the only survivors. You're right. So after they go away in the spaceship,
so presumably that's way.
And they go and become the Toodle-Pip.
Okay, and that's presumably way later.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometime between the year 5 billion or million. I wrote billion, so maybe Let's say 5 billion.
I can believe it.
Okay, so here's what's happening. We're right now, just you and me, pair of dudes speaking into microphones. Fast forward 5 billion years, give or take, 2017. And then we're now still two dudes speaking into microphones, except we also have holograms. Fast forward a teeny tiny bit, just like a smidge. We're now living in glass monsters. Fast forward a whole bunch of time. We've now filed down our teeth and we're Mad Max morons.
We're not living in glass monsters
but we
in that time. we are categorizing all people who have lived.
Glass monsters before or after Mad Max?
Glass monsters. Yep. Why has this not come up before?
They should constantly...
They should always be.
We should be bumping into glass monsters every time someone died on Doctor Who. There should have been a glass monster there.
Why is he surprised? This is something that by definition always exists. They're categorizing every person.
Everyone.
Who has ever existed.
Oh, wait, question. Yeah. Every human or every living
thing?
Every living thing.
What, so like a chestnut growing on a tree?
A slug.
They've recorded the time of its falling from the tree to the ground.
Not just that, they've made a copy of it, encased it in glass.
in case somebody wants to bring up a chestnut.
There is a perfect replica of everything that ever was. Just growing exponentially. This is the end of the Earth.
And how are they defining the universe? Okay, so if they're in the year 5 billion, how are they defining humans? So when the human race spreads out across the galaxy,
we have new humans.
Starts having really sexy interracial stuff.
Yeah.
Are those humans? Is that being recorded? It's a real dilemma for the glass people.
Tails.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sharpened teeth.
Not so much.
So when those people die, outside that compound, are they being...
Are glass monsters showing up?
I guess so.
Just in case you want to hear their testimony.
I guess so.
Hey, Mad Max guy. Got anything to say?
What's going on? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, right. I guess that makes sense. Why discriminate?
I just feel like with the glass monsters, this is a fairly large concept to introduce this late in the show.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
It's a real game changer, actually. It changes the whole universe. Because the glass monsters are more powerful than the Doctor.
Certainly.
Yeah. More powerful than Davros. More powerful than anything.
They travel through time, and they know when absolutely everything
ever
lives and dies.
Yeah, that's right.
Basically, they're omniscient.
Okay, so let's go back in the episode.
Or even in their future?
So to the moment when they show the Doctor his past life. So, his past lives.
Yeah.
So they bring forward 11 bubbles that have Doctors inside of them.
Do you think they've got copies of the Doctors? Is that what you're getting at?
That's what it seems to be. Because
I don't think so. Because he hasn't died yet.
No, exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
That's why they don't have copies of it, but they know exactly
in those moments. He hasn't died.
Yeah.
But they have information on him.
Yeah.
They can show him what's been happening.
Yeah, so they are omniscient. They know everything,
absolutely.
Not only about when you die, but they know everything that you did in your life.
Exactly.
Okay, so that is one...
Unless they've just been recording him specifically, but I can't see why that would be.
No, That being said, I'm glad that you brought this up, though, because even though there are a number of things in this episode that, from a really boring, stiff, douchey point of view, I would like to pick apart and criticize. I mean, in general, I like this episode very much. But aside from those myriad points, which we have already discussed, many of them anyway, like just the logical inconsistencies, there are really only two things in this episode that are just complete WTF moments for me. And this is one of them. Here's what I've written. Here, behold, a montage of all the Doctors to date. Also, why isn't the 13th Doctor among them? Because wouldn't they know about the 13th Doctor? I am so sick and tired of these montages.
Yeah, I was going back to the Day of the Doctor, when at the end of the episode they present all of the Doctors. Or actually, in fact, when they get all of the Doctors to surround Gallifrey.
I like that.
I loved it. It was great.
I like that scene, but I don't want...
Why are future Doctors not there? And why have they invited Capaldi only as the only future Doctor that they are bringing in? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, maybe that's also the sort of fourth wall element of it. Even though what you could do is you could have just hundreds of people in the crowds and you only recognize 11 or 12 faces, right? And the others are maybe like shrouded in whatever. Shadow, clouds, steam, big and sexy. You could have hundreds of people there, and then the audience would go, oh, I guess there are going to be hundreds of Doctors. But that would be a spoiler, and no, maybe it's part of the whole fourth wall thing of like, well, I mean, you audience, you know this is just a TV show, and you know that we haven't cast the next Doctor yet, so...
And you know that we're not shutting Doctor Who down.
Exactly, so what do you expect us to do?
Yeah.
But that's not my point. My point is I'm sick and tired of these montages. We have on a number of occasions seen like, oh, well, let's see clips from famous episodes or serials of all the prior incarnations of the Doctor. Let's just have this montage, and that will then describe to a third party, someone who is not the Doctor, or at least not the latest Doctor in this case, who the Doctor is. Here, behold, a best-of compilation of Doctor Who since 1963. Surprise, surprise, some of the footage is going to be black and white. And I don't want to see that anymore. I've seen it so many times. And the bubble thing was not as nice.
What is your problem with it? Is it just like, because it's reveling in its own glory?
No, it's super cheesy.
Yeah.
It is mega cheesy.
That's what makes it cheesy. The fact it is just masturbating over itself.
It's just like, oh, that's not my problem with it. My problem is just, we've seen it before, and there's an added element of here, actual footage from the TV show that you're watching.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, it's recyclable content.
Yeah, you can do better than that.
Yeah.
I think so. In fact, you did better than that. In the episode Rose, the Eccleston first episode of the 2005 revival, we get to see someone going through like this photo. What's his name? The guy who has his like weird bang shed. The guy who's the conspiracy theorist of like, oh, well, the Doctor has had many faces and so on. Rose and Mickey go to this dude who, like, his wife completely okay with this dude, her husband bringing a strange couple into his shed. In the middle of the, like, oh, I'm sure it's fine, he's just taking them into his bang shed. And then he goes through this, like, collage of pictures, and they've been photoshopped, and it's like, oh, here's Eccleston.
They're all of Eccleston, though. They're not...
No, there are drawings of, this looks like Sylvester McCoy, this looks like Paul McGann. I remember Paul McGann definitely being in there. And at some point, I think he said like, he's had many faces. And yes, there are photos of Eccleston at JFK's assassination and so on.
Yeah, but that's the one I remember.
Okay, but in general, that's a better way of doing it, isn't it? Like, here's William Hartnell on the side of the first moon landing. He's on the moon. Here's Patrick Troughton. What's he doing in Uganda? Like, what's going on? And then maybe someone could just go like, those are just two different dudes.
Yeah, but in fairness, he's on the moon.
Yeah.
So how would you like to have seen this presented?
Like
in this
that.
Case?
Like that.
So the glass monster comes down the steps, and it's like, okay, yeah. I've made a photo album.
Come into my shed.
Of all of your greatest moments.
His wife, the glass monster's wife, comes around, or her wife, sorry, comes around and goes, would you like some tea while you go into the bang shed with my partner, Glass Monster? No, I would like to see new material. And
also, the glass monster doesn't know that much. So it doesn't have much of a conception of time, because when Hartnell walks out,
Yeah.
They call him the Doctor of War.
Yeah.
So they're not aware that he's still in his original incarnation. They're calling him the Doctor of War.
Yeah, that's weird.
He hasn't been to war yet.
That's true.
And they don't seem to be aware of that. In fact, they don't seem to make very much differentiation between the two of them.
No, maybe
despite them being separated by, 1,000 years?
Yeah.
And the whole Doctor of War thing, I mean, that's referring to a specific action.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, I don't know.
Nonsense.
Dude, I have no explanation for it. But yeah, so that's my first...
quibble.
What the shit moment. Do you know what my second one is?
Go on.
It's at the very end. So I'm sorry, I'm jumping straight to the end.
Okay.
You may never tell them your name. They would never understand it.
The children.
But the children would understand it, but only if their heart's in the right place and if the stars are properly aligned, then the children. Yes, tell the children. Tell the children your name. Tell the children your name. No one else but the children. The children will know.
And again, we're back to the 70s BBC.
As a proponent of kids on film being kept to a minimum and always being CGI'd when they are allowed into a narrative, I hope that this wasn't a request from the next showrunner. You know, like, pop this into the final soliloquy because I've got plans.
What, for the children?
Yeah. There's a certain fear. I have a fear of the next season being like having a lot of kids
very
in it.
Childish.
Yeah, and having, as in, with kids playing an integral part of it. Like, kids, but only kids with the heart in the right place, mind you. Knowing the Doctor's name and being allowed to know his name.
No.
That might happen.
No, surely not.
But it seems so out of place here.
They'll never tell us the Doctor's name.
Dude, Capaldi didn't give two about kids. Why would he say
Remember
it now?
The trees episode.
Oh, there is the trees episode.
There are a lot of kids in that.
That's true.
And he's delightfully awkward with them.
Oh,
as well.
and he does take what's-her-face to the moon.
Yes.
Clara's
separately.
students. Yeah, you're right. Actually, that is a good point. Okay, I take it back then. So
again, he's very awkward with them.
Yeah, so I take it back. He did give at least 2 shits about kids.
Yeah.
But it seems so completely out of place. Like, why would that be the last thing that he says? We've never heard of this before. This is a new thing. As far as I'm aware, in Classic Who, post-Pertwee, pre-Eccleston, or pre-McGann, there was never any mention of, no, kids can hear your name, but only if they're good kids.
Isn't it that the children can understand his name, as opposed to they can hear it?
Oh, yeah, they can understand his name.
So they can understand his name.
Like, other people wouldn't know what to do with it.
On a good day, if the wind's blowing in the right direction, the children, they can understand
if
my
the
name.
stars are properly aligned.
If the stars are properly aligned.
And they have their hearts in the right place.
I'm trying to think of any reason children would be able to understand his name. I mean, it's a sound. It's a symbol.
Yeah. Well, so presumably it's Gallifreyan, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen his name in Gallifreyan.
Yeah.
We haven't heard his name pronounced in any way. It would be ruinous to the show to declare his name.
Yeah.
I mean, even at Trenzalore, we don't get to hear his name.
Exactly.
And there's no mention of children at Trenzalore.
Exactly. This is a new thing.
It is pronounceable, his name.
Yeah,
like,
surely.
Presumably it's just a sound, but we can't understand
But maybe it's like, maybe it's like that joke in the Outer Limits episode where it's the end of the world. Have you seen this thing?
No.
There's an episode, I want to say it's Outer Limits, not Twilight Zone. I think it's Outer Limits. There's a joke that basically brings about the end of the world, because when you hear this joke, it's like you just go crazy.
Oh, I've seen that.
And you want to... it's basically like a zombie apocalypse type thing, because you want to tell someone else the joke. You want to share this joke with people, and everyone just goes completely crazy.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic episode.
Bing bong, Future Punkin here. Actually, I was thinking of a Twilight Zone episode called Need to Know. Alright, back to the show. Bing bong.
Maybe that's the thing. Like, if you hear the Doctor's name, it's just too overpowering. It's too much for you.
Well, River Song
But if you're a
managed
kid...
it.
Yeah, that's true. But... yeah, so maybe she's the exception that proves... and presumably, if you're Gallifreyan, you would understand the name.
There's nothing to say that...
The Master knows his name.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say that either of those people understood his name.
Oh, that's true.
There's a difference between...
So maybe there's like a secret to his name or something, like there's some secret meaning to it or whatever. But the whole point of like, hey, if you're on Santa's good list and you're a child, then you will be great with this name. Like, it will just really resonate.
I think...
This is new and I don't like it.
As I was watching it, I decided that he was just really tired and waffling. It was just nonsense. Just like, yeah, the children, they get it.
Oh,
like,
no.
Nobody else gets you, man, but the children, sometimes when the stars aligned. And Yeah, and they're going north, and it's a Tuesday. Sometimes the children, they can hear you.
I'm a really stable genius, and
Two things I've always been known for. One, I'm very stable, and two, I am a genius. That was incredible.
That's fantastic. Should we talk about the end with Jodie Whittaker, and actually talk about Jodie Whittaker a little bit? How do you feel about Jodie Whittaker? Those two words, and in general, like her demeanour, initial impression.
She seemed jaunty.
Yeah.
I've nothing against jaunty.
All right.
Matt Smith was very jaunty from the get-go, and as you know, I enjoyed him greatly.
You did? So did I. So do I.
I mean, I wonder if we're going back there. The shots I've seen of Jodie Whittaker and her outfit and her sidekicks make it seem like it's going to be quite a happy-go-lucky affair. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get Dark Doctor.
I don't think so either.
Like Dark Dramatic Doctor. I enjoy, like, the atmospheric TARDIS.
The atmospheric TARDIS?
Yeah, I mean, it's mentioned in this episode. So when Capaldi is talking about
the lighting is meant to be
interior,
like that.
It's atmospheric. And I think.
So do you think we're gonna get like more of a playful?
I think it'll be more playful.
Legoland TARDIS a la Matt Smith.
Yeah,
okay,
I do. I
think
it's going to be a bright, colourful.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at all, given her outfit.
Yeah. The Mork and Mindy outfit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, you know what? Here's another note of mine, and I noticed this only today, because I made a Vindex icon of Jodie Whittaker for the website.
Nice.
And I looked at that promo still of her in front of the TARDIS with the Mork and Mindy outfit. Did you notice she has a whole bunch of earrings?
I didn't.
Like a whole bunch of them. Like a mess of earrings up here, whatever that's called. I can't remember what that's called.
A mess of earrings?
Yeah, like up here. There are like 4 earrings there.
A constellation of earrings?
A murder of earrings. A whole bunch of them.
Right.
Made me think like, cool.
Well, she's like a pirate doctor.
No, I don't. She's just a really cool doctor. She's got pierced ears.
Well, she's like a hippie doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the pierced ears signifying to you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's maybe a little punk rock, isn't it?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
But
it's fairly commonplace these days.
I guess so.
In fairness.
Not for the doctor, though. So it's very new. I don't mind. I'm not saying picking this up as a negative. I'm literally picking this up as a, holy shit, I didn't notice this until just now.
The thing about a whole bunch of pierced ears is that it's a choice.
A whole bunch of pierced ears?
That's right.
Every now and then she takes off her coat and she's got like 17 ears on her upper arm. They're all pierced.
It's not something you get regenerated with, is it?
It's a thing you thought about that. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think she just goes nuts at
some point. Like, she's going to make a conscious choice.
Pierce it all.
Yeah.
Pierce everything.
But the doctor could have done this beforehand.
Get your head out of the gutter, podcast land.
Why has the doctor never pierced before?
I don't know. The doctor has a tattoo.
Yes.
Well, Pertwee has a tattoo. Anyway, back to Jodie Whittaker. I agree. She seems very playful. She seemed very happy to regenerate into Jodie Whittaker, which I really liked. It was a nice, brilliant, rather than, still got kidneys, oh fuck, my tonsils grew back out.
Again, I really enjoyed the Capaldi regeneration.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But if you have that too often, then it becomes...
Where he was really unhappy.
Yeah.
Like, immediately irate.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that regeneration for the instantaneous nature of it.
Wait, this one?
No, the Capaldi.
Into Capaldi,
so
okay.
Smith into Capaldi.
Yeah.
Because obviously it takes a load of time, and then suddenly, bam!
Boom.
He's the doctor.
Yeah.
Bam!
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really scary.
It is quite. Yeah.
And it's really quite a big imposition.
Yeah.
Like, he's in your face, he's there with those huge eyebrows. It's great.
Yeah. And quite confused until he gets really angry.
Yeah. Whereas this regeneration was more sort of soft.
It was a little
airy.
It was a bit Tenanty. It was a bit like beginning of Tenant.
I guess so.
Very jovial, very sort of happy to be where he was, / in this case, where she was.
That jovial wasn't the point I was making, actually. It's more sort of ethereal. It's like there's like slow motion replays and sort of like stuff in the air, and it's all steamy, and it's...
Oh, you mean the general regeneration?
The actual tone of the regeneration.
Okay. I meant her disposition afterwards.
Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, she, as I said, very jaunty.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, the whole thing has a very jaunty, colourful feel to it.
So how do you feel about or what are your thoughts about what happens next? Like the massive cliffhanger?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Doctor may survive this fall.
I'm going to assume so.
I think there's a good chance of survival.
Does the TARDIS explode?
There's an explosion comes out of the TARDIS.
Out of the
TARDIS doesn't explode. I slowed this down. There's like a huge fire coming from the TARDIS. It's not... The TARDIS doesn't explode.
Okay. You slowed it down?
I did.
Fucking nerd.
So, yeah. I mean, it's on iPlayer. Slow it down. It's fine.
Yeah.
It can be done. And if you save the file... and play it in VLC, you can
you can do
it at any speed you like.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it. Treat yourself.
Freeze frame.
Yeah.
In answer to your question, I don't really know what's ahead.
Okay.
I think it could be amazing. We're going to get a very different type of show.
Do you know when it's returning?
Yes, it's ages.
Is it like August or something?
It's like August.
Crap. I need it now. I need a fix.
One thing does frighten me.
What's that?
And I think I could be turned around on this, but the idea of Bradley Walsh in Doctor Who does frighten me a bit.
Well, Miriam and I quite regularly watch The Chase.
Yes.
Like it's just on in the background.
I have seen The Chase.
It's just on in the background. Do not judge me.
Does this seem like the sort of person you would like in Doctor Who? Like if you had a choice of all people.
If I had a choice of all people?
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't be my first choice.
I think
I'll
it's
say
quite
that.
an unlikely choice.
Yeah, but I reckon he'll do a good job. I can see him being like the Magoo character.
Yeah, I hated that. I can too. I can see him being the next Matt Lucas.
I was going to say, he could be the next Nardo.
Which I think is an absolutely unnecessary character.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see a return to a basic setup of sidekicks.
But there are... I
don't mind multiple sidekicks. I mean, Rory and Amy was great. And actually, Doctor Who has a long history of multiple sidekicks.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Sure. I've seen a promo still of Jodie Whittaker with 3... no less than 3 companions. I think Bradley Walsh is... I think Walsh is going to be an ancillary one. I don't think he's necessarily going to be the constant one, and I think the other 2, I don't know if they're a couple or if they're friends or if whatever they are, they're going to be either the Clara and Pink or the Ben and Polly to Jodie Whittaker's Doctor.
Yeah.
And Walsh is going to be... I don't know. Maybe he's... Okay, so he's not the right actor for it. But do you know what I really want?
What?
I want the return of the monk. I can see the monk.
Why would he fit that bill?
Age. Just that.
Right.
Age and maybe appearance. But, that's too... I think that's wishing too much.
Like, as I say, it's a worry at this stage. I'm not saying it will work out badly. I can't see him fitting the role.
The chase is on.
The chase is on for Bradley. We were just discussing the Lethbridge Stewart moment.
Yeah.
When we discover Mark Gatiss.
Yes.
However you say his name. When it's revealed he is a Lethbridge Stewart, for me, it felt unnecessary. It felt...
a little bit... twee? Twee.
It was...
twee is the word.
Twee was the word I used.
We may have said this a moment ago, except... Well, Jack may have said this just a moment ago, and I wasn't recording. Sorry.
Yeah, so I felt it was a little bit forced and a little bit unnecessary. It was like ham-fisting some Doctor Who narrative back into a storyline where no Doctor Who narrative existed. So let's make this about the Lethbridge Stewarts and their dynasty and revisiting the family and being part of Doctor Who culture. I just felt the whole thing felt a little bit forced.
I think if you hadn't said anything, leave out the whole look in on my family every now and then, and leave out the whole, my name is, hang on, I've written it down, Captain Archibald Hamish Stewart.
I think the Archibald Hamish was just dramatic suspense before I say the words Lethbridge Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he say Lethbridge Stewart or is it just Stewart?
No, it's Lethbridge Stewart.
It's Lethbridge Stewart, okay.
Just to really drive it home.
Really drive it home.
Ram it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you could have omitted all of that and then had fan theories about, wait, hang on, he's in the military, he has a mustache, he's about the right age, he could be, and maybe he mentions his son, and that's it. Like, you don't give him a name, and then fan theories are going to be, wait, hang on, is he Bagel's dad? And then also maybe the BBC could, just inseminate some of these rumors. Just drop a few hints here and there. Maybe there could be a novel at one point that goes, yeah, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. That was Bagel's dad.
I just don't, as we discussed right at the start of this podcast, I don't know why he needs to be a Lethbridge Stewart.
He doesn't.
There's a lot of that in this episode. I don't know why it needs to be this way.
Do you think maybe...
It seems like a lot,
could it be
far too many coincidences.
Well, yeah, but the whole
and
thing
this is just another one.
Coinkadink.
But this one is just like a little nugget they've squeezed out right at the end.
Hot.
Just like, here's an extra little... yeah, and he was a Lethbridge Stewart. Yeah, cool.
Could it be? Oh yeah. By the way,
let's get to the new Doctor.
Yeah.
Let's get to the new Doctor. Yeah.
Could it be that the Moff just really wanted to have a few more of these before he left?
What? A few more what?
A few more Doctor Who nods. Like, it would be the equivalent of going down a corridor in the TARDIS, and there are just all these artifacts from prior serials. Like, oh, here's a Cyberman arm, and oh, here's the scarf, and here's the whatever, oh, this shirt has, I don't know, it's got like question marks on the collar, like all these things. The equivalent of that being, right in a Lethbridge Stewart. It's the Star Wars syndrome of everyone's related, you know?
Because you think he wants to be more a part of the Doctor Who dynasty story.
Well, so he already is.
He already.
You mean?
Yeah, of course, he already is.
Moff is a legend.
But you think he wants to write more of the Lethbridge Stewart family history, for example, so that he's a bigger part of the Doctor Who.
Well, it's like, oh well, hang on, I'm leaving. I've got to go out with a bang. I want to do everything. I'm running in a Dalek for no reason whatsoever. We could have replaced the whole Rusty sequence with Doc goes to a library, or Doc, wait, hang on. Here's a thought. Doc travels to the year 5 billion. Oh, maybe Doc could just ask the Glass Monster. Hi, who are you? I'm Glass Monster.
Yeah,
cool.
Done. I think the function of Rusty was the same as the function of Clara, was the same as the function of every other character that he meets at the end of the episode, which is just like, here's what happened in the previous 3 seasons. Also, don't you remember how great it was? Yeah. Do you remember Rusty?
And in a sense, to bookend it.
Yeah.
Rusty is very close to the beginning. Into the Dalek is like the 2nd or 3rd episode, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very...
of Capaldi, I mean.
Yeah, it's quite early on in Capaldi.
Yeah. So, 3rd maybe. So, let's end on that as well.
Yeah.
Sure, fine. Clara was there in the beginning.
It has a beautiful poetic symmetry, I guess.
I believe it's what George Lucas referred to as, it rhymes.
And now it is time to rate this. Did we laugh or hate this? Bing bong, hey, la 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 la.
Ratings. All right, let's call it a day. If you had to rate this on a scale from 0.0 to 5.0, what would you give it?
Good question. I'd first like to say I really enjoyed this episode. Hence, I watched it twice in 2 days.
Yeah.
It was very rewatchable.
It was.
But as we said on the 3rd reviewing of it, there isn't that much content. There's a lot of razzmatazz, but not very much going on. It's not a truly intricate Doctor Who storyline. And I do feel like some of the plot points are just shat out.
Wow.
Having said that, I really like Capaldi as a Doctor. I think it was a good send-off. I enjoyed the leaving speech. Mm-hmm. And I liked the fact that they involved Hartnell. And I thought it was interesting seeing the progression between the two. So it really got me thinking. So on that basis, I'm just thinking back to my previous ratings, where this could go.
Oh, wow.
I know, stretching back a long way. I'm going to give this a 3.4 out of 5.
3.4, eh?
Which is pretty good.
Hey, that's a good rating. Yeah, I'm thereabouts as well. It's a good episode. It's a worthy send-off. Excessive mentions of children notwithstanding, a respectable concluding soliloquy from Capaldi. Really sad to see him go, but given that in the very beginning, do you remember when you and I sat down and we watched the announcement, whatever it was called,
like it was yesterday,
the special, hey, who's the next Doctor going to be? Oh, it's this dude. And he came out and he was holding his lapels like he was Hartnell, and both of us just went, oh, wow.
He's back.
He's back and he's grumpier than ever. it's very appropriate for him to be there with Hartnell. Yeah, naked Daleks. Oh, wait, hang on. Seeing the old TARDIS. We didn't talk about that, but seeing the old TARDIS.
We didn't talk about naked Daleks either.
No.
I mean, it's just a one-liner.
It's just a one-liner, yeah. I mean, the TARDIS, the old TARDIS is formidable. I love seeing it. Hartnell, not Hartnell. What's his name? Bradley. Excellent.
Yeah,
they did a good job of combining classic and new. And first impression of Jodie Whittaker, very positive. For the rest of whatever I may think of this, please consult the prior, say, roughly hour and a half. I'm giving this a 3 point, go a little bit higher, 3.8.
Ooh.
Yeah, 3.8.
That's pretty high.
Well,
I'd have to look at the rest of your ratings to know how high that was, but I mean, that's pretty good.
Oh, wait, hang on. Now I can't. You know what?
If you think of something on IMDb.
Wait.
Being 3.8.
You know what? Can I take it back? Can I change it?
No.
Damn it.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Now I kind of want to give it a higher score.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kind of want to give it a higher score.
Based on what?
Based on, very little happens in this. Oh, you know what? I was going to give it
that's my problem.
That's my problem now as well. Oh, shit. I was going to give it a 4, like a straight 4.0.
Ooh.
I'm going to give it a 3.9.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.9. There you go. Do we have any listener minis? No, we don't, because we never told anyone that we were recording this review.
I'm not sure we knew.
No, we didn't know either. You should mention at this point it is 2 a.m.
Good work.
Yeah.
Good work.
Listener minis. Now let's hear from Podcast Land. Max 250, or it would get out of hand.
Bing bong, Future Pumpkin here, and I am I am joined by Future Minimo and Future Drew.
Bing bong.
Hello.
We did in fact receive a listener mini for this. This one comes from Trenton Bless. Hello, Trenton, who has sent in far more than the allotted 250 words. So we're going to read roughly 250 words. And for the mini review in its full splendor, please go to whobackwhen.com. So starting off, Trenton says, I appreciate that the scene recreations from the 10th planet were done really well, especially the far from being all over bit. I know they did more scene recreations, but I'm glad they were cut. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I think all we needed were the scenes from the actual series, the transition from Hartnell to Bradley, the reason why he's caught up in the mess with 12, and the moments before he regenerates.
The regeneration scene itself was wonderfully done. Peter's final speech to the next Doctor was so well done, and I almost cried. Stephen Moffat does know how to write good speeches/regeneration scenes. Time of the Doctor comes to mind. And the direction by Rachel Talalay was pitch perfect. The build to the reveal of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor was great, and then the TARDIS exploded. Of course, this means we'll be getting a new console room at some point, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm. So, overall, what do I think of this story? Well, I'd say it did its job well. Sure, the first Doctor was not done well, and Hellbent's even more pointless now, but that's just a negative in a sea of positives. Peter was great, the direction was great, and the story was good too. It did what it needed to do, which was to give the 12th Doctor the send-off he deserved. I'll give this episode a 3.85 out of 5, because I just can't decide between 3.8 and 3.9. Is that right, Trenton?
Which is exactly what I did when we recorded this.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that's super duper weird. I started with 3.8 and then I changed my mind and went to 3.9. Trenton, that's a really, really good score. And it's a fantastic mini. Podcast Land, you absolutely need to read it in its full splendor. Go to whobackwhen.com and you can high-five Trenton online as well. He is at Trenton Bless. That's Bless with 2 S's. All right, back to the show. Bing bong.
I am fairly drunk.
Yeah, I'm a little tipsy as well. And also the coffee is kicking in.
Yeah.
Great timing. Mm-hmm. Are you on Twitter, and do you want people to follow you?
I mean, you're welcome. You're welcome to try. I rarely tweet. I can't remember the last time I tweeted.
Do you have an account?
I have an account.
Is it One Too Many Mornings?
At One Too Many Mornings.
At One Too Many Mornings. You can say hello to me as well. I will high-five you right back. I'm at Pumpkin. You know how to spell that, I think. If not, guess. Until the next time, be rad and next into each other. Rock on.
Ciao.
Oh, no. No, you did it again.
I did, I'm back.
No. Oh.
It's tradition.
Okay, bye. Kablamo! Did you enjoy the show? Then please do what the cosmos compels you to and spread the gospel of Who Back When. Tell your friends.
But I've got no friends.
No problemo. Tell some strangers.
Hooray! Like us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/whobackwhen, all in one word.
Are you into Twitter? Awesome. High-five us online and we'll high-five you right back. You guessed it. We're at Who Back When, all in one word.
Check us out on Instagram for behind-the-scenes photos and other Whovian goodness. Watch our videos or even listen to our podcast on YouTube. That's whobackwhen.com/YouTube.
Vote us up on Reddit, listen to us on Stitcher, and head on over to our website, whobackwhen.com, where you can submit a review of your own, browse the article archives, and peruse our visual index of aliens, monsters, and more, which increases in kablamos with every episode.
And lastly, give us a rating and review on iTunes. It helps our show get noticed and earns you lots of karma points.
That's it. Rock on and be rad and excellent to each other.
Catch your earballs in our next Who review or bonus episode.
Until then,
ciao.
Who back when?